big a hamster would we have? Would it be 50 kilos or 500 kilos? Well, the New Economics Foundation in London has done the math for us, and it turns out that it would be a 9 billion ton hamster. Now, how can that be? How can just 52 doublings get us to such an extraordinary value? Well, that's what exponential growth is all about. It can be expressed in terms of doubling times. That's what we're trying to do with economic growth. It seems so innocuous, 2 or 3 or 5% per year. But think about what China's doing, growing its economy in recent years at 10% per year. What's the doubling time? Well, math is very easy, actually. It turns out to be 7 years. So after 7 years, China's economy is twice as big. After 14 years, it's 4 times as big. After 21 years from the moment we started, China's economy is 8 times as large. So how many times can we double China's economy before it runs into fundamental limits? No one knows the answer to that question, but one might start to wonder, is even one more doubling possible? Well, how does all of this relate to Australia? It's not for me as an American to come to your country and tell you what you should do with your country, but I think as an interested and sympathetic outside observer, it appears to me that you all face a kind of crossroads. It would appear that you're banking your future on extracting and exporting resources to a growing Chinese economy. But does that really make sense as a long-term strategy? After all, China is facing some problems. China's economy is actually slowing down right now. And it's entirely possible that this decade, China will face real problems with maintaining its economic growth. So Australia is part of a larger system. China makes its money largely by exporting manufactured goods to the United States, Europe, other importing nations. So as those countries stagnate, then China exports less, which means China needs less iron ore, less coal, copper, all the things that Australia is exporting to China. So if China's demand goes down, that means that commodity prices soften. And that then in turn will have an impact on Australia's economy. This is already occurring. This is not hypothetical. When Martin Ferguson said that the resources boom is over, of course, talk about a dangerous idea. He was immediately forced to retract and fudge and so on. But I think he was telling us all something we need to know. Meanwhile, Australia's population is still growing very rapidly, and the Australian Bureau of Statistics is telling us that the nation's population could double or triple by the end of the century. Is this something to be concerned about? Well, maybe so. I mean, after all, if the economy is slowing down and maybe